Welcome to Midnight Files. If you're brave enough to stay till the end, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share your own story in the comments below. Tonight we've gathered the top 5 scariest stories and paranormal encounters from the twisted threads of rAskReddit. Turn off the lights, plug in your headphones, and let's begin. Number 5.
I was having a tense conversation with someone that I was close to years ago. The conversation quickly devolved into a passive-aggressive fight that ended with the other person getting in the car and driving away. As I started heading back inside, the other person came back, got out of the car, and started our conversation again. The tone of voice was totally different, and the stance was different, and the feeling in the air was completely off. I don't know how else to explain it. As the conversation progressed, the other person started saying some nasty and mean things that were completely out of character. I said, "This isn't like you, person." They said, "What makes you think that I'm person?" I remember continuing the conversation and talking to the person for a long time, but I don't remember anything specific. I do remember becoming more and more alarmed and knowing something wasn't right. Finally, I told the person to go home. They complied and left. I went back inside and started telling my sibling about the situation when the doorbell rang. Maybe 2 to 3 minutes had passed. It was the person coming back to apologize for the original fight. They had been driving around town for a long time and didn't want to go home, leaving things unresolved. I asked why they had said some of the things from the last conversation, and they looked at me like I was crazy. They had no idea what I was talking about. Totally could have been lying. But that whole situation just felt dark. Scared the hell out of me.
Number 4.
I was a manager of computer repair for a retailer a couple years ago. We had a client's computer in the back, running various malware and virus scans. I was doing morning paperwork in the back near the computer. This PC had its screensaver on displaying random photos from the My Pictures folder, various family members, children's birthday parties, the usual stuff. Then, from then of my eye, I swear to God, I saw a picture of a woman from the shoulders up with her throat cut. As soon as I realized what I was making out, I directed my full attention, and it was back to photos of a car show. As the day went on, I thought nothing of it and proceeded to continue my work until I was bringing another customer's PC to the back to work on. And again, from my peripheral, I could have sworn I saw a bloody body bound in a trunk of a car. At that moment, I began to freak out. I grabbed one of my employees, explained to him the situation. We then sat for 10 minutes and watched this screensaver. It is against company policy to search through the client's personal files without absolute just cause. We then proceeded to see a photo, 2 bodies in a shallow grave out in the woods, and another photo of a severed hand down in kitchen drawer. I then went and got the general manager and informed him of the situation and had him view this screensaver. We then felt that I would be in everyone's best interest to contact law enforcement. In about 15 minutes later, owner of the computer and another gentleman show up. I proceed to tell him that his computer is not ready and it will be a while. He then informs me that he was called there because someone reported there was some photographs of a grisly murder that we had found. I showed him his computer, and then his partner then begins to laugh at him. Apparently, he went against police policy and took some of his work home with him and had never noticed his work photos were being used as a screensaver. TLDR, a detective, unknowingly brings me his computer, filled with gory homicide pictures that get mixed in with his screensaver. I soil myself thinking I am dealing with a murder. Call the cops and the detective returns to investigate his own computer.
Number 3.
I was living with my now mother-in-law in a house she had just purchased a few months before. We had all had various weird feelings or experiences in the house, but 2 really stick out. Collectively, There were 3 dogs living in the house at the time. One evening, we are all sitting with our backs to the hallway. This is significant. Watching a movie. All of a sudden, my German Shepherd and my terrier both perk up their ears and start staring down the hallway behind where we are sitting. I mean, full attention. I notice and turn around. The light in the hall was off. It was dark. But of course, don't see anything. 5 minutes later, they're still staring and now growling. This time, my wife and I turn around and we both watch as the light switch on the wall gets flipped to on. Dogs went crazy, and so did we. A few weeks later, same scenario. Light is off, and we are watching a movie. My German Shepherd loved to play fetch, and we always had a million balls around to entertain her. This time, she's staring down the hallway and wagging her damn tail. This time, we all notice again and start to watch. I swear to God, a ball, single orange tennis ball, came rolling down the hallway towards her. We all went white. There were a few others, but Jesus. I hated that hallway. It never felt like a bad energy, but my feeble little brain was still scared nonetheless. One more story. My mom-in-law was having these dreams a few weeks after moving in, about the house catching on fire and burning to the ground with us all inside. Horrible. About 3 weeks after these dreams, we woke up one morning and distinctly smelled smoke coming from the house somewhere. Panicked, we all started searching and eventually came to the garage. On a rafter, we noticed a smoke coming out from around a fluorescent light fixture. At that moment, I realized, my God, it's attached directly to this old dried-out beam. The light was left on all night, and it was clearly burning the rafter ever so slightly. Lights are not supposed to be screwed onto a rafter like that, so we like to think our ghost hosts were looking out for all of us. After that, her dreams stopped.
Number 2.
I shared a room with a guy in college who was a musician. He'd stay out late almost every night and come home around 3 or 4 in the morning. Our room was a straight shot through kitchen from the front door. One night I woke up to the bedroom door opening and figured it was just my roommate coming home after a gig. I thought it was strange that he turned the light on when coming in. He knew I was a light sleeper and would normally use his phone's light to shine around the room if he was looking for something while I was asleep. My bed was twin-sized, positioned against the wall, connecting the bedroom to the kitchen. When he came in, I was facing the wall. I kept my eyes closed and pretended I was still asleep because I didn't feel like having a conversation with the most likely drunken friend while I was still half asleep. I heard him go to his side of the room, opposite of my bed, and rustle around his desk and dresser looking for something. Sometimes he would grab some clothes for the next day and go stay at a buddy's house, so I wasn't concerned. Then I felt him start reaching under my bed. I kept a few things under there, but he would normally ask before straight up taking anything of mine. At that point, I was really confused and annoyed by all this, so I made it a point to aggressively roll over on my other side and face the middle of the room and the direction from where he was reaching, so he knew I was pissed that he was ruining my beauty sleep. Then I heard nothing, but I could feel he shot up from under the bed and was just standing there. I never opened my eyes, but I figured he would either apologize for waking me up or something, but he never said a word. He just stood there. After probably 2 minutes with the light still on, I heard him leave the room and go to the kitchen. I opened my eyes after a couple more minutes because he left the light on in the bedroom. He wasn't in the kitchen, but he had pulled a knife from the knife block and left it on the table. I checked around the house and couldn't find him, but quickly realized my Xbox, book bag, wallet, etc. were stolen. I called my roommate to see if he had been home, but he was miles away at a party. He still had his house keys and never gave them to anyone else prior. I must have accidentally left the door unlocked that evening, which was the one time someone decided to check the knob. Police never followed up with me after that night, so I doubt they ever caught the guy. I can't imagine what would have happened if I ever did open my eyes and see that guy standing there, or if I chased him out to the kitchen. TLDR. Someone walked into my bedroom while I was still asleep, stole my stuff, and watched me from the side of my bed.
Tonight's top story.
I am from the Indian town of Bhubaneswar. I have never quite believed in supernatural or anything outside the purview of science. This creepy incident happened the time my grandmother died. Being a traditional family, we performed numerous rituals for her so-called heavenly abode to be pleasant. Most of these rituals don't make sense to me, nor do they do now, but I decided against questioning as the timing was gloomy and everyone was mourning. One of these rituals was the preservation of lights inside a closed container. As part of the ritual, her kids, which included my father, are supposed to make a journey taking her corpse from Bhubaneswar to the holy city of Puri, around 50 kilometers, where the Jagannath temple resides, and her sons are supposed to burn her there, perform the puja, and set the ashes on its path to the Bay of Bengal. Meanwhile, there will be a container placed in our home in her room where she used to live, which will be filled with sand up to a certain level, and a lighted earthen lamp is supposed to be put, and the whole container will be covered completely, and the room is locked from outside for no one to enter the room till the sons arrive back to home and then unlock the room. Apparently, there are supposed to be shapes formed on the sand which will tell the path that she will take to the heaven. I was also told that when my grandfather died, the shape formed was that of a ladder, which was interpreted as him going to heaven in a ladder or steps. I, of course, thought all this was pure idiocy and didn't believe it. Cut to when my father and his brothers returned from the holy city of Puri, and the room was unlocked and the container was opened after that. And what I saw surprised and creeped me out. I could clearly see wheel shapes being formed on all the sides of the earthen lamp, called deep in my language. The wheel shapes were not barely visible. I even took a photo. They were clearly visible. Grandmother lighting set up pic. It still creeps me out how that is possible. Edit. It was interpreted that she is going to heaven in a chariot.
Thanks for watching and see you on the next video.